Now, if you are in the journey of applying for an MBA, you're watching the right video. And this is a good way to start doing your research around what it takes to have a successful MBA application. Hey darlings, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new here, also welcome, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell to become a part of my community. My name is Nthanda Manduwi, a digital creator and media entrepreneur from Malawi, currently based in Manhattan, New York. Over the past 10 years, I've been able to build what was a simple lifestyle blog into a six-figure business. Hi, my name is Nthanda Manduwi, a Malawian digital creator currently based and working in Manhattan, New York. So I am currently in the process of applying for an MBA, and I will be vulnerable here. I wanted to apply this year, but I feel like it's too soon for me, and last year was a little too busy. So I want to take my time and actually prepare better to apply in the 2024 class. Cohort. So just a background, I have done several MBA tours, I've done 2 diversity preview events, and I think if you want to apply for an MBA, one of the biggest things you're going to have to know is you have to do a lot of preparation, because it's a process. It's not just a typical graduate school application. You have to know specific things. There is the essays, there is the GRE, GMAT scores. There's a lot that you need to know. So we're going to talk a little bit here of what it takes. Oh, and having attended the diversity preview days, I also have done already 2 interviews with 2 schools. I think I've done one with the University of Rochester, and I did one with MSU, Michigan State University, and all of them went really, really well. But I hadn't yet applied, but I hadn't gone there, so they asked me if I want to do the interview, and I said yes. So I want to share with you some of the things you need to know if you want to apply for especially business school in North America. Number 1 is you have to have clear career goals. You have to be clear, because you're going to have to communicate that in your application, but also in your interview. So you're going to be asked, what do you want to do in your career? Why are you undertaking an MBA? For example, my reason is I want to pivot into private sector. I want a bit more professional experience that's kind of diverse. My experience so far has been in the public sector. I have 2 companies. That's a media company and a nonprofit that teaches people business development schools. But I do not have much experience in the private sector working for another company, and I want that experience. And I want that experience also specifically in North America while listening in another international country. So have your clear career goals. Why are you doing an MBA? That's number 1. Number 2, have a strong academic background. For anybody that wants to further their education, especially if you're still in undergrad right now, I would recommend that you focus in your studies. And I know I sound like the big auntie right now, where I'm like, you have to focus and really work hard in your studies, but you do. And you have to try to get good grades, because these things do matter, especially, if you want to pivot a bit faster. Like, I have 7 years of experience, so probably my experience would kind of a little bit offset my undergraduate performance. But if you have like a really strong undergraduate performance and you have 2-3 years of experience, you would kind of fast track your career and be able to move into an MBA a bit quicker. So try to get a strong academic background, especially in your undergraduate school. And if you don't have a strong academic background, another way to beef up your academic, or way to show schools that you have a strong academic, ability, is to get a GMAT or a GRE score. And I'm going to talk at length about the GMAT process, because that's what I'm undergoing right now. So my undergraduate studies, they're okay, but they're kind of average, and I want to strengthen that. So I know to be able to strengthen that, I need to have a really good GMAT score. So try to take a GMAT or a GRE exam. And that I'm going to have 4 videos talking just specifically about that. I thought it was easy, like, I can just study. I remember telling my best friend years ago, I'm like, I can just study for this for 2 weeks. I've seen people say online that you can do it in 3 weeks. I just want to say you cannot. You need to prepare and make time for this 2 to 6 months of actual preparation to make sure you get a good GMAT or GRE score. I will share the video. I think they're going to be linked up above when they're published. Number 4 is professional experience. Now, when it comes to the MBA applications, most MBAs want people with about 5 years to 10 years of experience. There are some who come straight out of undergraduate into MBAs, but because an MBA is about progressing in your career, really, it's not so much about specializing in a specific industry. Some masters, for example, if you're a medical professional, maybe you do your undergraduate or your honors degree in medicine, and then you want to get into public health. That's kind of a specialization, and you want to do that immediately if you want to have the opportunity. But for an MBA, they really do want you to have some professional experience, whether it's entrepreneurship or it's employment, but have some sort of professional experience, because that's going to be really important in your MBA journey. So look at having 2 to 3, if not 5 to 10 years of experience to be able to excel in an MBA classroom. And number 5 is having a compelling resume. I did a really great post on creating a good CV. It's available on my newsletter. I'm going to link it in the description box below. Have a really great resume, a great CV. Most of the schools say, actually I love this quote which says, how long does an employer take looking at your CV? The answer is you'd think a minute, 30 seconds, it's 6 seconds. They look at your, because they have a pile of CVs. So you have 6 seconds to convince somebody that you're a good candidate. So having a one-pager that's concise but also tells your story quite clearly is very important. And I have a whole, maybe I might do a video in future. If I do, it's going to be linked up above. But it's really important that you have a really compelling CV that showcases your skill sets and also shows what you have achieved in your career, but keeping it to one page. And I know it can seem complicated, but read the post and there is a sample of my CV in my newsletter where you can be able to see how to shorten and tell your story in a very brief and concise way. Number 6, you're going to need letters of recommendation, and these are usually your work supervisor or your professional mentor, or also if you're, I think that's more PhD, an academic recommendation. Also undergrad recommendation I think would be great, but mostly it's about your professional recommenders. So your boss at work or your professional mentor. Get people who know what you're about. And I think this is where building a relationship with your supervisor, with your mentor is really important. Get them to know you. Get them to know what are your strengths so they can really be able to speak to your work and how you can benefit from being a part of an MBA program. I would really recommend, because for them to write a great recommendation for you, they need to know you and your work. So really make sure that you perform, but also that you have a really good relationship with your professional recommender or your mentor, that they know what your passions are and all you're about. Number 7, have thoughtful essays. So when you're writing your essays, really tell your story. And I mean, don't just be all over the place. Really have your concise points. What are you trying to communicate? And speak to that. Speak of your past experiences, how that brings you to where you are now, and how this positions you perfectly to be able to study for an MBA to support your long-term career goals. So from the past to where you are now to where you're trying to be. Communicate that very clearly, and you might want to do some research around writing really great essays as well. Speaking of your story, number 8 is have your unique personal story. What makes you different? There are thousands of people applying to this MBA program. What is unique about you? What value do you bring to this classroom? Really highlight that. Talk about how different you are, how different your journey has been. Maybe it's where you're coming from. Maybe it's your, I don't want to go too much into your history, but how has your upbringing helped you to get to where you are now, professionally that is? And how does that position you better for where you're trying to get in the future? And number 9 is extracurricular activities. I know being a part of the academic community is really great. Having strong grades, having great GMAT scores is quite amazing, but people also want to know you as a whole. What are the things that interest you? For example, for me, I'm into media production, I'm into art, creativity, I want to do a bit of talk shows, and I love engaging in conversation. Those extra type of things, initiatives, maybe you're into charity, maybe you give back, maybe you volunteer somewhere. Showcase how you add value to your community, because that's going to be important. And what value do you bring to the school when they get you into an MBA program? Now, have great interviewing skills. I think for me, this is a strength because I've kind of done a lot of interviews, but I also interview people a lot. And I mean, for me, from a media perspective, interviewing somebody in a media setting and getting a job interview is quite similar. And I think I have that strength because I do these interviews interviewing people, so I know how to respond to a question because I've kind of practiced, but also have a lot of training in that space. If you are not good at interviews, really invest in doing your research about how to excel at interviews. Do not be under pressure. The biggest thing in interviews is you are telling your story. You're trying to get somebody to get to know you. So really master that. It's your story. It's not about them asking you the question. They ask the question, take the question in, take your time. Okay, yes, no question. Now get into your story and tell your story as professionally but also as authentically as possible, because if it's authentic and you're not feeling like you're in an exam where you have to pass, but you're just telling your story, that's going to come off so authentic and it's going to get you ahead in your journey. Number 11 is research the program. Do the research around the program. Really show that you understand what this program is about, and also differentiate it from other programs maybe you've read about, and you can be able to say that, okay, I've seen other MBAs have these specializations, or these MBAs focus on this, but your MBA, for example, has a specialization in this one thing that I really, really want to specialize in, and this is how it supports my career. So really make sure you showcase that you have researched the program that you're applying to. Number 12 is professionalism. You want to keep your full branding professional. I mean, from the way you look. Like me looking like this today is not a matter of chance. I have to make sure that I wear the right shirt, that my makeup is not dramatic. I still look a little bit professional. I can fit in a professional setting. So how you present yourself physically, but also how you carry yourself everywhere, even if you come to an MBA tour or you come to a diversity preview day, or you're interacting in your emails. Learn how to write emails, for example, cold emails, or LinkedIn is one professional profile. So brand your LinkedIn profile. Make sure it tells your business story. It shows you as a professional. Your social media presence, I speak a lot on this. Your digital media presence should show you as a professional that you're serious about your career and that there's a promise for a future here when somebody looks at your profile. Number 13, one I was just speaking about, is networking and campus visits. Make time to network. Okay, I recommend this strongly. Attend if there is an MBA tour event coming to you by GMAT Tours or other providers. Make sure you attend an MBA tour, because you get to meet people that are also on the same journey as you, number one. But also you just get to interact with like all the schools and get a lot of information. And I cannot stress enough, if you can get a diversity preview day or if you can get a campus visit, make time for it, especially if there's a school that you want to go to. Make time for it. Go there and actually interact to get a feel of the school as well, because it's like you're moving to an entirely different new state or country. So you have to know that if you're going to live here, are you going to live here well? Are you going to enjoy the community? Do you like the people that are around you? So take the time to get there and get to know the people and see if this is something you want to invest, because 2 years is a short time, but it's also a long time, especially for a space where you're going to be learning and advancing academically. Number 14, you can have a diversity statement. I know there is a bit of ways to look around this. Do you want to be seen as the diversity candidate, or do you just want to show that you competed and you got this? However you see it, it's up to you, but you can have a diversity statement. Ideally for me, I would position myself as a perfect diversity candidate because, one, I come from a third world country. I come from Malawi. I come from Africa. That's a whole different region. My own personal background makes me very unique. I started a company and all of that. So I bring a lot of diversity to the classroom. And I think that positions me in especially MBA programs that are trying to show people a different array, different ways of thinking. So you can have a diversity statement and show what unique things you bring to the classroom. Number 15, a very important one, is timely submission. Make sure you submit your application in really good time. Right now, why I decided that I'm not applying in this year is because I feel like I'm rushing and I'm pushing everything. And I just need to take my time, which 2024 will give me time to do that, to be able to prepare and retake the GMAT. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Retake the GMAT to get a better grade, because I think that's what it's going to take for me to get into the schools that I want to get into. So try to make sure you get your submission in on time, have your preparations at a good time. And I'm starting these videos at the beginning of 2023. So if you are looking to apply in 2024, even 2025, and you're finding these videos now, this is a great time to start preparing. Make sure you have the time to prepare, get all your resources in order, and be able to apply in good time. So my next video is going to be talking about, now we're going to get into the GMAT. I recently took the GMAT, okay? And I did not do as greatly as I thought I would. And we're going to get into that. I got the entire package of the GMAT official prep, and I want to talk about that, how great I think it is and how you can utilize it to help better your score. I think I just started utilizing it, but I also wanted to understand how the exam is. So I'm going to talk about the GMAT official prep and also taking the GMAT. I think whether you have a strong academic background or not, it's valuable that you take the GMAT, but let me not say too much in this video. Let's get into the next video. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll be seeing you in my next video. If you have any questions, drop them down below, and I'll be sure to get to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and stay kind. See you very soon. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Subscribe to my newsletter so you can get a weekly dose of entrepreneurship, lifestyle, and self-care insights so we can glow and grow together. Follow me on social media so we can stay in touch. I'll be seeing you very soon. Until then, stay kind.